This is Undermine on Hard.
A deep rumbling sound emanates from a nearby corner of the plaza. Guard Captain Tallis appears worried. You've beaten back Droam's surprise attack. This would be a good time to tend to Tallis's injury. In the huge crater, a ladder and a tunnel lead off into the darkness. It shouldn't be too difficult to climb down. The construction of the tunnel shows it was quickly but professionally built. It must have taken an army of mining engineers to dig this far into the city. Astounded by your presence, an explosives-laden kobold yelps.
Starry forces! Blow them up!
As the master demolitionist flees deeper into the tunnel, he leaves behind explosive mines. They're just as likely to blow up on his fellow kobolds, but he doesn't seem to care as long as the mines slow you down.
That's the first we've come across the kobolds didn't set off themselves.
That
Once he
huge
does that,
explosion
then we
blocked off the
head
rest
this
of
way
the tunnel.
to get.
The rubble is too heavy to move by hand. For some reason, the Droam workers abandoned their efforts to dig through this natural cavern, and instead chose to tunnel. A dead Medusa lies sprawled next to a bin full of demolition charges. Droam must have abandoned this cavern after she met her sudden end. What manner of creature could have resisted the Medusa's stony gaze? Rubble blocks your way out of this cavern. There must be something here you can use to get past it. This cavern is crammed with supplies. It's a staging area for the Droam army.
Probably was okay where I was. I thought I was maybe too close, and then this thing has a timer, and now I have to wait for the timer to go off until I could place it again. Want to make sure I got it up in the right spot. This is that sort of landmined area. We just have to clear a path to where we could jump.
The thick smell of smoke in the air suggests the presence of explosives nearby, as does the charred corpse of an unfortunate ogre.
Guess I got a little bit too close. So they don't do too much damage, but they still do quite a bit. The big problem is if you run through, or if you land on a couple, you take damage from multiples. Too close again. Well, I'm not learning my lesson from being too close. Alright, so let me get this and a jump potion on. My Meyer set gives me plus 15 jump. And then I get plus 10 from the potion. So that'd be enough to make sure I could... Whoop. Let's get the higher to stand their ground. And I'm just going to ignore anything that's not in my way. this will be a tough room on Reaper. I think I'll probably need to approach it a little bit differently. Probably will need to use my bow more and get some guys from range. So yeah, so I mean that I almost died on hard. That's one of the few close calls that I've even never had on hard. So I'll probably need to approach that room a lot differently on Reaper.
A bridge crosses an underground chasm here. Falling would not be advisable.
Yeah, and these war mages are tough enemies. It looked like what the enemy was doing was Psychonic Blast there, and that's just a tough spell. High damage, no reflex save. Or I should say no evasion. I'm not sure what the save type is, but the save might only be against knockdown, and I don't think it's a reflex save. Alright, so now we're in the last part, and there's going to be this boulder that comes through. This is one of the things in this quest that could one-shot us or kill us. And so I'm going to call the hire, bring the hire over in this like little groove area. The groove areas are safe from the rolling boulder, and you can see it's just tucked in there. That's just in case I die. But I'm going to try to run to one of these groove areas myself. And we're just going to go into one of these alcoves. We should be okay. And I'm not going to worry about the optional trying to destroy it. We're to the end area. I'm going to have my hireling kind of down here, stand their ground.
A familiar kobold voice barks.
Blow them up! Blow them up now!
You have found the lair.
And we have to do a minimum of damage. And of course, once he turns like yellow to an NPC kind of phase, then at that point he's super dangerous, and we need to run back. But I'm gonna see if I can do enough damage with him with a bow to kind of set him off. And if he comes closer, I'll just get him with my sword. But he's going to turn into an NPC at some point. Like he's coming right to me, so let me... And when he turns to an NPC and runs around, that's where we run. And you got to make sure you know the way. Whoop, that's not the way. We should be safe here. Hmm. This almost looks glitched. Let me see if I can. There we go. Seems like that triggered it. Alright, when he turns back to red, then we're safe. At that point.
The smoking body of the demolitions master crumples to the ground. You've defeated Droam's scheme to undermine Stormreach.
So not too bad of a quest, but just gonna have to approach the mine area a little bit differently.
You've reached the end of the tunnel. Surely this must exit to Droam's base of operations.
Especially since
here
they
on
have that
Zendrik.
knockdown ability with
your
the
mission
Psychonic
accomplished,
Blast.
You should report back to the Coin Lords for further
Alright, I'm gonna pause it while I go
instructions.
back to the end reward. And it's really in the, I didn't need to pause it. It was like he's right in the same place. So let's see, nothing super interesting. Just gonna grab an item, and that is Undermine on Hard.